now we have the third battle of the team battle, and depending on what happens, it could be the last battle. We have Tachikaze on the side of PrideStrong, too strong, taking on Izayanagi, who has said he will use Pale Moon. And we'll see if that is what this is. I think it's Pale Moon because I just saw a card go back, and it looked like a Pale Moon. Oh, he's using Nightmare Dolls.
What? Oh, God.
I thought he said something about Harry.
He did. I think he picked the wrong deck.
Yeah. It should be fine. Toby is a good boy.
God damn it, no. This is why you receive cruel and unusual punishment.
I've become numb to it. At any rate, his starter is Innocent Magician, which will be a problem, if only because it means that he won't have very powerful boosts for a while. Helps that he went first, because he'll be one grade ahead for a while. But if his opponent critical triggers, then it doesn't really mean much. Now he's got to play catch-up. And nobody brought the mustard.
What happened?
I said now he's got to play catch-up. And nobody brought mustard.
God. I'm going to take back that statement of saying that you're always right.
I mean, you can't until you find a way for me to be wrong.
That is an AK grade 2. What do you do?
Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When it's put into the drop zone, it comes back and gains 3k, and it's not Generation Break bound. If he had something that could retire it, he could literally do it now. If it was in rear guard. Because obviously the Vanguard doesn't retire. I still remember the ruling on that, thanks to Pelennor and Apoc Maker. Because if you use them together in a mixed deck for extreme fights, you can have a scenario where your grade 3 Vanguard has to go to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn. So they actually had to make a ruling of what happens in case something like that comes up.
Yeah.
And basically, a unit in your soul becomes your Vanguard after you do that. And if there's nothing in your soul when that happens, you actually lose the fight because you have no Vanguard. So it's officially stated, if you have no Vanguard, you lose the fight. I'm hoping that never means that we get a clan or unit that has an on-hit skill of when this unit's attack hits, Counterblast 5, Soul Blast 10, and retire the opponent's Vanguard.
Wow. Oh, look, I'll be right back.
Okay, time to pause. And now we're back. And we're G-assisting.
G-assisto.
Assist my G's.
No. Stop yourself.
Hey, it's okay for me to talk like that. I'm African American.
Stop yourself. So you got Dire Emperor, which is good.
Yeah, he's also gonna stride, which means he's gonna get a lot of. He's basically gonna get everything that he removes back. Well, everything in his hand at least, and then some. He's also using the Engorge Perfect Guard, which, I mean, for one, it is searchable by the unit that can search for an Engorge unit, but...
That's a Dark Rex stride.
Oh, you didn't realize that he had Dark Rex in here? That he had... Yeah, this deck, from what I can tell it does, it likely is supposed to bind Dark Rex so that it can do horrible, unspeakable shit.
I mean, I
Which is
thought
why
Nightmare.
the stand trigger is there, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Nightmare Dolls did unspeakable stuff.
You haven't fought a Tachikaze.
I clearly have not. I actually haven't, honestly. I've only seen people play.
Well, I have a feeling
myself.
that even now you may see some horrible, unspeakable stuff. It's very possible. If he does this right. Because to be honest, he needs to do horrible, unspeakable stuff. Otherwise, he's literally going to be walked all over by these nightmare dolls. So he chose not to call anything from hand. And instead, he just decides that this grade 2 and this grade 1 are going to come back from the dead if they retire. Considering that retiring their own units is considered eating them, it makes me wonder what is considered the basis of them coming back.
That's a horrible thought in my mind right now.
But it is there, and you can't unsee it.
It's a Stop yourself.
You can't unsee it.
Is he doing the... Is he doing... Oh, he's doing it.
Yes, counterblast 1, retire a rear. Wait, what? The fuck? Oh, well, technically you can do that. I don't know why the hell you would.
But he loses the boost, right?
He loses the boost, but it gets 5k power on its own.
Yeah.
And it gained 5k power because the stand trigger just has that ability. And the last unit on the field is going to die.
Looks like his magician wasn't so innocent after all.
He's not that innocent. Because the dinosaur decided to hit that baby one more time. Triple drive check. Heal trigger appears. Doesn't heal anything.
That's a crit.
Also, he didn't have the ability to counterblast 1 for the baby camera, so we don't get to see that happen.
Hello, Silverthorn Juggler.
Okay, let's pretend for half a minute that was legitimate. And move on.
That was not. That was one of those what the fuck moments.
I can look at the fucking soul. Layman doll. Okay. One thing to note, purple trapezes is not a workoroid. So now he's just putting workoroids on the field so he can get the Nightmare Doll skill going off later. This one. Choosing 3 workoroids and putting them into the soul in order to put the Vanguard standing and to call something out. And to call, what is it, 1 unit out of soul? Oh, 2 units out of soul.
So, unless I'm wrong, I think the 2 Alices are gonna go into Soul and the Ginny, then they come back out. Well, the 2 Alices are gonna come back out.
You're wrong. The 2 Alices are gonna come out, then the 2 Alices and the Ginny are gonna go in, And Alice is going to come out, and probably either the Ginny or the Leslie. Leslie and Alice. No, actually Brenda. Because, I mean Guinea. I said Brenda and meant Guinea. Because Brenda actually hasn't appeared yet. But yeah. Because when you bring out Guinea, it makes that bitch more powerful. So now we have 23k, and keep in mind, every time he blocks this, he can just put Alice into the soul and get an Alice. Every time he takes it, he can put Alice into the soul, get out Guinea, and then Guinea brings out Alice. And every time Alice comes out, this Leslie stands. Because that's how this deck works.
Yeah, it's basically endure 4 counterblasts.
Well, technically the damage... Technically, the amount of attacks he gets this turn is dependent on his counterblast. That's literally what this is now. I would have went for the 26k attack, but man, that's just me. So now Alice goes out. Alice goes in. Alice comes 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 out.
No.
It's gonna keep happening. You understand that, right?
Yes, I know that's gonna keep happening. But what you're saying is stuck in my head.
That's literally Nightmare Dolls in a nutshell. It's setting up to do that and then doing it. Well, the good news is the damage trigger helps. The bad news is it really needs to come a bit sooner. Then Alice goes in, and then Alice comes out.
Dollies are about to be dinosaurs. That's not supposed to happen.
He needs 15k to block this, and even if he does, he'll need 5k for the other one, which is the perfect guard. So, I mean, not the perfect guard, but the intercept. So he's going to have to top deck in order to be able to do anything next turn. And even if he does top deck, he's not actually going to be able to do anything. Wait, why did he... Okay. Wait, what the fuck?
I think he did trapezes by accident.
You can't return trapezes for trapezes skill.
Is that what he did?
Yes. That is actually what he did. But I'm gonna go with what you said and just say that it was a fucking accident and he wasn't actually trying to do that.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to do that. I think he picked the wrong card. Yeah, he said it was a misclick.
If FBK was a different kind of team, they would have rule sharked that, but we're not doing that today. There are a very small number of decks that can actually deal this kind of shit. Wait. Gaia Emperor is Generation Break 2.
He's not doing.
Oh, he's just engorging. That's perfectly fine. Because engorge is not generation break locked. What it does is generation break locked, but it in itself is not generation break locked. Kind of like hollow. Hollow isn't generation break locked, but any reason you'd have to ever do it is. And there's the Dark Rex I was talking about.
Yep. I would attack Alice, but that's just me.
Going for Alice is the smartest thing to do in that situation, because if you went for the Vanguard, he'd just be giving his opponent a counterblast. And we all already know what'll happen if he gives his opponent a counterblast. Not like he isn't already done, but still. No need to make it worse. He could technically heal trigger through this. He technically has the ability to do that. Besides, there is still an Alice in the soul. I repeat, there is still Alice in the soul.
Man, that's game.
Yeah, it was over anyway. Even if he had guarded, even if he had healer, he would have perfect guarded the Vanguard, then Alice would have come out, Leslie would have stood, and then that attack would have taken at least another 5k when PrideStrong would have had an empty hand. So, good games. Heaven's Breaker ends this one.